Hey guys, Chris from Black Flag Barbell Club. Today we're going to talk about the glute ham raise, how to do it correctly. We're going to see who in this room can actually do one and whether or not they do it right. And we'll talk about like back extensions and some other stuff you can do off here. But primarily, how to do a glute ham raise correctly. So, let's get into it. So when you're setting up the glute ham raise, you're going to have two main things that you can adjust. Either the distance between the foot plate and the pad, or the height of the foot plate itself. In general, the higher you put the foot plate, the harder it's going to be because you'll be angled down, so you're going to change where gravity is pulling on you. Yeah? This going backwards and forwards based on how long your shin is, like how long your legs are and how long your shin is in particular. You will have a certain distance that is basically where you will put it every time. Yeah? If you change the height of this, it might change very slightly if you adjust it a lot, but for the most part it will be the same distance away and the height will change. Yeah? So when you're picking the distance, you want your knee to be sitting right on the edge of the pad, not completely off it, not completely on it. Yeah? So if I was to go too close, my knee is on the pad. Yeah? So I could do it this way. It's going to make it much harder because a lot of my body weight will be out here because I'm very close. I go one back. That's about where I want to be. I'm on the pad, but I'm like right at the bottom of it. So when I set up and push straight into the bottom position, knees will be off the pad, but when I'm at the top, my knees will be on it but off it at the same time. Yeah? So I'm not restricted by the pad as I go. So then that would be pretty much where I set that distance every time I do the glute ham raise. Yeah? The height of this would be a separate thing depending on how hard I want to make it that day. Alright, so we've got the glute ham raise set up for us. Now, how do we do it? So, pretty much it's all in the name. Glute ham raise. Yeah? You want your glutes and your hamstrings to be doing the work. Your glutes are going to be holding your position neutral. Your hamstrings are going to be doing the actual pull. Okay? So if we're going to stay neutral here, if that's our goal, then if that changes, we know we're cheating. Yeah? And the way that we're cheating is we're making the lever shorter. Yeah? So rather than being this nice stretched out long piece, if we get shorter, we're bringing ourselves closer to the point that's pulling, so it's going to be easier. Okay? So if you notice that you're bending your knees, bending your hips on the way down, you're cheating a little bit. That's fine, just make sure that you know that you're doing it and work on it as you go. Okay? Now I like to start the glute ham raise from the bottom because it lets me get my tension on the foot plate first. Some people like to start from the top. That's fine, do whatever works for you. So I'm going to show you the right way first, where we're straight at the bottom and we're coming up as one piece. So the only thing that's really bending is at the knee. Okay? So I've got my tension on the foot plate, I'm pushing in, my heels are flush, I'm straight, I'm squeezing my bum, I'm going to push in like a calf raise, everything comes up as one piece. Push back into the plate, push in, calf raise, straight and out, straight and up. So I don't want to get to here and then turn it into a back extension thing. It makes me lose my tension. Yeah? You want the hamstrings doing the work. Okay? If you want to do a back raise, separate thing, not a glute ham raise. Okay? The other way that we'll see people cheat is instead of being out straight here, they'll sort of be bunched up and they'll come back and they won't fully extend. So you've got to get that knee straight, which is where that cue of pushing into the plate. So for me, pushing my heel into the plate is how I cue my straight knee. Okay? If I don't get that heel into the plate, then I know that my leg is probably not going to be fully straight at the bottom. Okay? because I'm not trusting myself to go all the way. So again, when I do that initial setup, heel into the plate, foot is flush, squeezing the bum, pushing into the plate like I'm doing a bit of a calf raise. Everything comes up in one straight line. As I go back down, push into the plate. Get a bit of a hemi cramp. Nice and easy. That is the glute ham raise. Yeah, should be using your hamstrings as the primary movers, glutes to keep everything seated where you want it, not breaking at the hip. Okay? Alright guys, so that's the basics of the glute ham raise. You can also use this for back extensions. Very similar setup. You can set it up a bit further back if you want, or you can leave it the same. Same idea. The more of your weight that is out in front of the pad, the harder it will be because you're carrying more of your weight. But in the case of the back extension, you want your hip down to stay pretty static. Well, actually, there's two ways you can do it. So you can do back extension where you keep this as one piece. And try not to let your back round. So it's happening more at the hip. Or if you want to work the extensors themselves, you can round it out and then arch it back, round it out, arch it back. Not trying to like overextend a crazy amount, just trying to feel your back extensors doing the work. So I personally will do the round one because we do a lot of static back movement where the hip does the rotation instead of our back with everything. Squats, deadlifts, rows, all of that stuff. You're trying to keep a fixed torso as the pelvis does the work. So when I do back extensions, I want my back to do the work. It's a safe space in terms of loading. I'm not going particularly heavy. I want to load it up in flexion and extend out of it because like it never does it. I'm trying to train that. But yeah, glute ham raises, very good for the posterior chain. It's something that, in my experience, people either can do relatively easily or they struggle. If you struggle, I think it's very much worth pushing yourself to getting to the point where you can do it reliably, because it means that you have strengthened your hamstrings to such a degree that now you can do this thing. So, with that being said, we're gonna ask a few of the locals if they can do it. Oh, what do we have here? A kiwi fruit with legs. Just make sure you set it up for you first.
Yeah. I believe it.
Well, actually, so this might be a good talking point as to why you shouldn't just hop on it. So me and Zach are different heights. Yeah, potentially we're not that different at the hip and the leg. So let's see. If I set it to mine and he hops in, does he fit? Nope. Nope. So you can see, even before he gets into it, you can see his knee is really far away from the pad. If he starts to come up slightly, like he's never going to get this. Like just push yourself, like use your hands to get to the top. Like he's not going to have any friction here to hold him in place. He's just going to fall, yeah, if he even gets there. So we need to bring that closer for him. Yeah, so now he's in that same spot. He's not on top of the pad, he's not below it. He's got this nice little bit of friction to hold him in place when he's at the bottom. Make sure you're fully straightening out, fully straightening out. Just stretch yourself long at the bottom, long, long, long. Yeah. Good. Good. It's good. Well done, Zach. Gotta give it foreplay, dude. So get your knees like at the bottom a little bit. Yeah. You're trying to straighten yourself out, and then you're gonna do like a calf raise to get yourself back. Push, you go straighten your legs, straighten your legs.
Oh, like that?
Yeah, all the way straight, all the way straight. Straight. So you'll end up like this at the bottom. Straight. You can see Jake is not particularly confident because he doesn't want to straighten his knee. So come up, all the way, and then push into the plate to straighten your leg up. Push your, treat it as a leg press almost.
Oh.
Yeah, keep going, straight, 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 straight. And try and come up. Oh, not quite. Good effort, not quite there. So, yeah, so straightening out. And almost doing a calf raise from here. Right there. So don't worry about the back extension part. You're just trying to use this.
I laughed at Jake, but it is hard.
Alright, so we're 1 out of 3 so far. Are you down? Come on. Probably go. Do you want it one closer? You go one closer. So when you're outstretched, if you want this on the plate, you're going to be pushing into it, chop it up onto that pad. Straighten out, yep, and then do a calf raise and use the hammies to come up. Almost, keep going. Hey, not bad, not bad.
Is that a proper rep?
Yeah, you used a lot of back, but that's fine. It's somewhere you could start doing reps. Yeah. That's a lot of, it's like you can feel there's a lot of extension there. Yeah, but hopefully also a fair bit of hamstring. So what's that? 2 out of 4. We're literally 50%. Woo! So you can see, depending on the person, some people find them relatively easy, some people find them kind of hard, some people find them impossible. If you find it impossible, you build up to it. You can use RDLs, stiff leg deadlifts, hamstring curls. You know, there's a ton of hamstring stuff that you can do. Glute bridges, all that kind of thing. It just indicates an area where you might be, it might be worthwhile you spending some time and working on that particular weakness. Particularly if you see a similar weakness evident in heavy squats, heavy deadlifts, that kind of thing. So yeah, hopefully it helps you. Any questions about what we've gone over today, let us know. You can hit us up in the comments, info@blackflagbarbell.com.au, @blackflagbarbellclub, Facebook is Black Flag Barbell Club. Yeah, and we'll see you next time.